Hey, what's going on out there in YouTube land, aka IE Network land? You know what time it is when it's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is now time for the Benchwarmers podcast, exclusively here on IE Network. Yes, and and no sooner than I finish my little intro, I see my co-host live and in living color, the great Heaven Hollywood. Hopefully, I can hear him. We shall see. It all depends. Oh, I hear a little chuckle. That means he is on. Yeah,
What's
he is
up?
live. You see his big bald
Like
head.
check 1, 2. What is this? The 5-foot assassin with the rough head business.
I
Can you
float
hear
like
me?
gravity. Never had a cavity. Got more rhymes than the winders have family. No need to sweat a scenery roll. Stars upon stars is all I have. You wanted just to fight it, but you still don't know the half. I sport no balance sneakers to avoid a narrow path. Mess around with kicks, get you sized up here.
Ah!
I'm not a half step because I'm not
They
a
don't know,
half
they're not
stepper.
ready. They're not ready.
Drink a lot of soda, so they call me Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, he was barring. He was barring tip up and out.
The great the 5 foot freak, Fife Dog. Rest in
Yep.
peace. Yes.
5-foot assassin.
The 5 foot assassin, if you don't know by now, a tribe called Quest. The great
Sir.
Yes, yes. Yeah, very, very well. So a jam-packed show, as they used to say back in the day, the El Sullivan show. We got a really big show today, really big show tonight. We got the
Right.
Beatles, we got Elvis Presley, we got Diana Ross, and the Supremes. Yeah, so
Right.
great show. Without trying to start a trend here the last few weeks, it seemed like lately every time we start a show, it's like somebody dying. I mean, we're not we're not trying to go
That's
this
not a
path.
yeah, that's not a trend I want to start.
Yeah, unfortunately, it seemed like every time, I'm looking at, okay, what can we talk about? Like, what, when it comes to the sports side of things, the stuff we got, a lot of stuff. But when it comes to
Right.
sports, especially
Oh,
this time of year, it's like, okay, what can we talk about? Then I look at this and I go, geez, like, isn't it enough already with all this death, doom, gloom, and death? It's
right.
like, geez. But what's
Yeah.
his name? A three-time Pro Bowler, wide receiver, formerly for the Chargers and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If I can't remember his name, it's Vincent Jackson, correct?
Vincent Jackson, yes.
Yes, he passed away at the age of 38. Like Jesus, 38 years old. Um, he was actually reported missing Friday
Mm.
from his family, for what I read correctly, and turns out he was in a hotel room. If I'm not mistaken, if I remember, I think it was in Florida somewhere.
Yep, it was in Florida.
Yeah, so it's like, wow. I mean, as far as I recently looked, there's no foul play as far as I know.
Right.
It's what I've looked into and what I've been told. I haven't heard anything about that. We don't know about suicide. We don't know drugs
Right.
involved.
When stuff like that happens, you have to look into three main things. Number one, you always have to look into what type of lifestyle was he. And from what I can remember, Vincent Jackson, he was a ladies' guy.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's one thing. Then you also have to see his finance situation. You
Mm,
always got to see, does he still have money? Or was he was he broke? Was he
hmm
low on cash? That's
hmm
another important thing as far as especially when dealing with suicide. And of course, the next is CTE. He's had a lot of injuries through his career.
Good point.
Always banged up. Plays a position where there's a lot of collisions.
True.
Um,
Good point.
so if he wasn't low on funds and didn't have CTE, then more than likely he didn't commit suicide. Now you're living a life of a retired football player. You got millions of dollars, and
You would think.
unless there's a situation where, like what happened to Steve McNair,
Oh,
a situation with a mistress, and
yeah. Terrible.
the wife, and then end up getting killed behind that. So
That seemed like yesterday when that happened.
right, if it seems like if it's one of those three, then they have this, but as far as suicide, I'm gonna rule that out unless it turns out that Vincent Jackson blew all his money
Mm-hmm.
or he had CTE. I don't know about.
Yeah, usually when it comes to CTE, it's usually linebackers, offensive linemen, defensive
Right,
ends. For the most part, I'm not saying that wide receivers don't, because quarterbacks can get it too, obviously. But
right,
it all depends on how did he take care of himself, because
right,
CTE is not something that, oh yeah, you automatically are gonna get it. To me, it depends on your DNA. Did you use a lot of drugs, and that's including HGH and steroids? Because it's funny how when it comes to NFL, no one cares about that. Well, when it's
right.
baseball, it's something different, right? But football, it don't matter. It don't matter. But it's funny how no one thinks about that. Oh, let them roid up all they want. We want our football on Sunday. It don't matter. As long as I get my +3 and my couple of $100
Right.
or whatever I win, that's all I care about. Yeah. So unfortunately, getting back to serious business, yeah, it was in Brandon, Florida. Not too familiar. Homeward Suites in Brandon, Florida. That's where he was found. And as of right now, the local county medical examiner's office doesn't have no determinant of the cause of death.
Right.
So it's an open investigation. It's going to take some time. I wasn't too familiar with his career. Do you know a little bit more than I do when it comes to Vincent Jackson's career?
Yeah, he was on in the middle of those teams. It's funny. We kind of talked about him last week with Phillip Rivers.
Gotcha.
He was Phillip Rivers' main receiver through those years. It
Oh
was
wow.
it was Vincent Jackson, with LaDainian Tomlinson and Antonio Gates.
You did say that.
They were the
Yeah.
main guys, and he
Gotcha.
always had unbelievable talent. He was 6'5". He can jump out of the gym.
Mm.
He had great hands, but he was always nicked up.
Mm.
That was his whole thing. He was always nicked up,
Gotcha.
but he had great hands and he could jump like crazy.
Mm.
So he made. If you go to like his YouTube or whatever, I'm trying to share the screen for anybody that doesn't know who Vincent Jackson is, but he. If you go to like his YouTube or whatever, I'm trying to share this. That's a that they call that. What do we call that? Back whatever. Feedback.
Oh, feedback.
So yeah, feedback. So if you go to, hold on, I'm gonna go here and
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking a look at his career. He last played in the NFL in 2016 with the Bucks.
right.
Which he spent.
He went to Tampa Bay Bucks from the Chargers, and Tampa
Yeah.
Bay was also a team. Now I believe that may have been his second time back in Tampa Bay. Oh no, he went there from San Diego, and he was there with Jameis Winston. Was quarterback or whatever.
Yeah, gee, I mean, it's weird how even though the Tampa Bay won the Super Bowl, because we didn't get into it last week because I forgot to bring it up. There was a coach that got fired because of a automobile accident that happened like the night before the Super Bowl, and really injured a couple of kids. One of the kids are okay, as far as I last checked today, but that guy got fired. I forgot the coach's name, and now this happens, with this Vincent Jackson, who was actually their he was fourth in franchise history in receiving yards for 4,326 receiving yards and 10th with 268 receptions. So not too shabby.
Right.
More than I ever did.
He's a pretty good player. Not a Hall of Famer, but pretty good receiver. Always
pretty good.
V Jackson, they called him. So if anybody can see this out there, just really quickly, we're gonna pay homage to the man. B Jack.
Yep, take my mic.
Jackson. I want to see something here. Whenever he share the screen.
Yeah, this is when technology gets interesting, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I want to make sure that we can actually hear the audio. There used to be a little drop down to click for the audio.
Uh-huh.
Let's see here.
Oh, those good old updates. Don't you love them? Oh, you made it better here, but did you take away this? Why'd you do that? You know.
Exactly.
Some update.
We're gonna share. There we go. I
Give it
missed
time.
it.
We got this.
Audio.
Pay homage to the late.
Yeah, so
Vincent.
we're gonna go here and rest in peace of Vincent Jackson. Still ongoing. The investigation.
Yep.
Still ongoing. Let me know.
Terrible.
Can you see that, Jimmy Ace, and hear it?
Yes, I can, sir.
Okay, so we're gonna see here.
Hopefully the audio works.
Right.
The visual is working. Sometimes neither works.
Talking about skip this ads, and we'll skip everything.
There we go. It's buffering. And it's buffering. And we're waiting. It's the perfect time for the Jeopardy thinking music. We're getting there. It's like we're frozen in time. Still waiting. Yeah, as we wait, you know. Let's see. Yeah, because I wasn't too familiar. Not bad for it to be fourth all time in receiving yards and 10th in catches. And actually, let's see, his greatest achievements as the Buccaneers owner and co-chairman Brian Glazer, in a statement about the late Vincent Jackson, he said he was a consummate professional, and even with his accomplishments on the field, his greatest achievements as a Buccaneer were the 4 consecutive nominations he earned as Walter Payton Man of the Year. So that's something. So condolences to his wife and family, as heaven now disappeared. What is going on? I'm telling you, the technology is just wonderful, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, so, rest in peace to Vincent Jackson, who leaves behind a wife. Didn't see if he had any kids. So the entire Jackson family and to his wife, our prayers and condolences to you. And that's terrible. And I mean, young age at 38, that's just crazy. That is just crazy. And actually, also says here, as I look here, like Kevin was talking about, he played his first 7 seasons with the Chargers. He was selected second round, 61st overall in the 2005 draft. He is tied for 8th in franchise history for touchdown receptions with the Chargers, 37, and 10th in receiving yards, 4,754 yards. The Chargers said in a statement that Jackson was a fan favorite not only for his Pro Bowl play, which he was a 3-time Pro Bowler, as I stated earlier, on the field, but for the impact he made on the community off it. So it's just terrible. Very terrible. So rest in peace to Vincent Jackson. Hopefully heaven gets back on. By the way, shout out to my producer, Wes Clark, out there. If you're listening right now, I don't know if you're on, you can chime in anytime you want. Just let me know. But while we wait for heaven, I'm gonna go on to the next story. The next one, the one I want to talk about right now, although I didn't have this next, I'm going to talk about this now because of the circumstances. It's about David Ortiz. Of course, he's been retired from the Major League Baseball for about 4 or 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. Well, actually, it's been 5 because after this year, next year he's eligible for the Hall of Fame. Of course, anyone doesn't know, he's a big-time Red Sox player. All those years with the Red Sox from 2003 till his retirement. If I'm not mistaken, retired in 2016. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was 2016, 2015. I think it was 2016, if I'm not mistaken. And he made some sort of comment somewhere in some news and some local paper or something like that, talking about how baseball is just straight up boring due to so many strikeouts. And he actually has an excellent point. because I've been saying it for like the longest time. How baseball has turned into either home run or nothing. The fundamentals of the game has gone down the toilet. And it's not just Major League Baseball. All these other sports are the same too. Basketball, there's no fundamentals as it once used to be. Baseball, same thing. Football still, for pretty much it does, but it's mainly just also all about passing, not too much running like it used to be, or doing certain type of fleet. Like you don't see fleet flickers no more. You barely see the bootleg play. Certain stuff, things like that. But when it comes to when these things happen, I don't want to sound like get off my lawn old man type of dude, but I can understand what David Ortiz is talking about, because the game once upon a time wasn't only just about home runs. It was about getting doubles, moving the man over, bunting, exciting plays at home plate, which that got taken away thanks to the Posey rule. When that collision happened with the Giants catcher. And they made a rule that you can't collide into the catcher no more. Yeah. Have been trying to get in, by the way. It locked up on him for some reason, so I don't know why. Good old YouTube. I don't know what happened. But going on here with David Ortiz, he made a news. Matter of fact, I just saw this yesterday, stating that how he thinks baseball is boring because it's all about home runs and strikeouts, basically. If it's not a home run, it's a strikeout, which I totally agree, because like I said, there's no fundamental play no more. I mean, this is a startling stat that I saw online here, because he's talking about how Dave Ortiz talking about how baseball is just completely boring because of just home run or nothing. No more of the close play at second base with a double or triples. Remember, there used to be triples and doubles, hit and run, with a man on first, the steal. Remember when Ricky Henderson would steal over 100 bases like it was nothing? Like those things you don't see no more in Major League Baseball. It's like gone. I mean, right here, he said, actually, he was talking, here we go. Dave Ortiz was talking to Peter Abram, who is a well-known, very legendary writer for the Boston Globe in the sports section, Peter Abram in Boston. Ortiz also said, to me, it's messed up. The game has changed a lot. Coaches only want kids to hit home runs, and that's all they practice because they want to get paid. We used to want to develop great hitters. Now it's all strikeouts with some home runs, and it's straight up boring. If you could bet in Vegas that the next hitter was going to strike out, you'll take it every time. End quote of from David Ortiz. And I totally agree with him. The game wasn't just all about home runs. It was also about, like I said, moving the runner over when there was a runner on first and second or on first base. The hit and run, hitting the ball where it ain't. Everyone talks about the shift is ruining baseball. Well, why don't you hit it where they're not at, and maybe the shift go away? But these players nowadays, they don't make adjustments no more at the plate. Where back in the day, pitchers and hitters would make adjustments all the time. If they started to figure you out how you hit or how you pitch, you have to make adjustments yourself. If you don't make the adjustments, guess what? You're not gonna succeed any further in the pro level. And that's the problem. Oh, there goes Heaven. They let him in. I'm telling you, man, this technology is pissing me off. It really is. For me to get in here, and I'm gonna say it, I'm saying it. I got locked out of my messenger, on Facebook to try to get in here. And I'm like, huh? And like, what? Oh, because I use some sort of VIP protector. Oh, gee. And I wasn't even using it today. Like, really? Anyway. Rewind back a little bit.
We didn't get a chance to do that. It just totally locked up my whole system.
Yeah. It's like, nah, you ain't doing it.
Vincent Jackson, he was a dynamic receiver, but like I said, the ladies loved him. He was very popular with the ladies. And the funny thing is, he was 83. Yeah. So when we did the photo shoot for the groupie photo shoot, and we have Yesenia. Shout out to Yesenia who plays Maria in
Okay.
Groupies. During her photo shoot, she actually had on a Vincent Jackson jersey.
Oh.
So
Oh.
that's pretty ironic.
Oh. Coincidence?
Vincent Jackson actually was one of the guys that the girl, because Groupie is based off of two events.
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
Vincent Jackson actually one of the guys that the girl that we based Groupie on actually knew.
Interesting.
So rest in peace to him. Far too young to go, 38. Like I said, ongoing investigation.
Yeah.
And man, we'll see what happens. Like when it's that early, that young and he was found in a hotel.
I mean,
that's not sounding too good.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm not trying to, so don't shoot me or anything, or it's just a thought. When it's a guy in a hotel room, it's very rare he's there just chilling by himself. Right. I'm just saying, especially when you're an athlete or a former athlete like Vincent Jackson, it just don't look, as they say in the Jewish community, kosher.
Right.
It just don't look kosher to me. Yeah, but hey, I hope I'm wrong. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to make any speculation. I mean, I'm respecting the man's family and his friends, so I'm not going down that road. So so rest in peace. Thank you, YouTube, for letting us play that montage of Vincent Jackson.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks a lot, YouTube.
Thanks, but no thanks. Thanks a lot. Anyway, I got into a little bit about David Ortiz. Actually, he was talking to Peter Abram, who's a very well respected, legendary writer in the Boston Globe.
Mm-hmm.
He basically put his 2 cents in about the state of baseball. But right. As somebody who's going to be a future Hall of Famer, and wait till the hypocrites come out with this one, when he gets brought in. Well, it's different with David Ortiz. He was a good guy. Anyway, I'll save that for when that happens. But he basically was stating how baseball is straight up boring because it's all home runs or nothing. And like I was saying, I agree with him.
Right.
I mean, look at this. I mean, David Ortiz, he made his debut in '97. A lot of people don't know. He actually debuted with the Twins. Boy, did the Twins miss out on not having David Ortiz. But anyway, in that season in the major leagues, the total of strikeouts that year in 1997 was 29,936. Fast forward to last year, actually, not even. Fast forward to the last full season we had in 2019 when we had a 162-game season, and the strikeouts were 42,823. That is ridiculous. Well, I remember a time where if you struck out, and especially with men on base, that was embarrassing. Especially if you are the man.
But I do have a theory for that, and it really is baseball's fault.
I
have a theory for that. There's now every day is interleague play, so they've increased the amount of time that the pitcher is going to hit, and the 8th hitter is going to hit, and everyone knows the 8th and 9th hitter in the National League is always the worst hitters on your team. So now you increase those, you take away a DH and you add a pitcher. So you pretty much got 2 guys in the lineup that can't hit. The guy that hits before the pitcher never can hit, unless you're the Yankees, of course. Or Yankees, of course. And the pitcher can't hit. So then you're playing interleague play all the time in the National League parks. So I think that increases. Now, should it increase it by that much? No, but not by 20,000.
Yeah, that theory I could see what you're saying, but it's the way they teach them lately. It's not just only that. You know what I'm saying? Because interleague play started in '97, ironically enough, and of course, pitchers before '97 there wasn't strikeouts like that. And pitchers always were hitting. You know, going back to the invention of this game. Once upon a time, the American League had pitchers hitting until 1969. You know, the last expansion year. You know, well, that expansion year anyway. You know, and then the first year they had the playoffs with the American League Championship, National League Championship Series, all that. So it's just a matter of it's fundamentals, man. There's no fun. I mean, I could look at the situation. Okay, there's a man on first and second. If I'm a certain batter that I know I might not be able to get a hit, or maybe not driving a run, I'll move the runners over.
Right.
Most of these players don't even know how to bunt. You know how many? None of them know how to bunt. Back in the day, they used to know how to bunt. These guys are like, I'm not gonna bunt. Why? I'm for the home run. The shift, when you see the shift, which has been going on for quite a while now, you see that gaping hole like down at third or whatever they have the shift on you, depending on who the player is. You think that the hitter will make adjustment? So no, why should I need to do that? I'm gonna do what I always do. That's a problem. You have to make adjustments at certain points of the game. You can't just do the same. It's like what the Chiefs did in Super Bowl. You just can't. Well, we're just gonna keep on throwing, and maybe it'll work. You know,
right?
You gotta make adjustments. It's just in every sport, same thing. You know, basketball. I remember. Remember the low post. Remember when a center was a big man.
Right.
Remember when 3-point shooters were actually 3-point shooters?
Not a center's running point.
Yeah, now it's just,
my son said the center's running point.
So it's just,
and now what do you say? I gotta play that. I don't care. I'm during our stuff for it. I'm gonna go get that portion of a freestyle. To me, the greatest freestyle ever on Flex. Just a happy logo. He said, "Now the center's a running point, and the killer's running point."
Wow.
Oh, what a great double entendre.
Yeah, well, it is a double entendre, but see, this is the problem. Once again, this is the problem with baseball. They don't adjust either when it comes to looking at their demographic. Of course, diehard fans like me, yeah, we're always there. But guess what? You ain't getting that young fan. You ain't getting that casual fan. Oh, it's the same old thing. If it's not a home run, it's a strikeout, which makes the game longer. And people are standing around, and people are gonna go to their phones and go to the bars because now these new stadiums. I don't know if how recently you've been in these new stadiums like Citi Field or whatever, but they turn into like, it's its own place itself. They got all these clubs now in there. You got, places to watch the game. You got sports bars within the stadium now. These new stadiums nowadays. It wasn't like back then when you sit at a game, you actually watch the game, You know what I mean? So it's like, it's totally different, with the unless it's a type of game that's fast paced, like a basketball game or a football game, these young bucks are going to be sitting there like, well, I don't understand. Why is this guy running, from first to second while the pitch is coming to the batter? That's called hit and run, son. I don't get it. Those talks are not around as much no more. That's a problem. Seriously,
they're not teaching because they're not teaching baseball, not teaching the art of baseball because it's now gotten to people's heads that that's boring. That's who wants to watch that, and who wants to watch a guy sacrificing to try to scratch out a run. But that's baseball. Who wants to see a 1-0 game and 2-1? They want to see everything now, in 12-10, 14-8. But that's not how baseball is built.
But there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with a slugfest or a pitcher's duel. My thing is the fundamentals. Nobody has a lot of brains when it comes to approaching certain situations at the plate. That's my point. You know what I'm saying? There's certain times when you got to be like, okay, all right, I know who's playing the outfield. Okay, if I know, like if I'm on base, I know, okay, if it's hit to this guy, I know he can't throw me out. I know if he catches the ball, I'm going to sacrifice the third. I'm going to sacrifice run the third because I know he ain't going to get me out. But some of these guys, they forget, he ain't going to get me when he has the cannon of an arm and throws him out by 2 feet,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about, like things like that. And you wonder why the game takes longer and it's dull because there's no one exciting doubles. Remember plays at the plate? Now they took that away. Well, you can't run into the catcher no more.
Yeah, you can't run to. Oh man, I used to live. They used to hardly ever see him. There was that. There's gonna be then they would always set you up. There's gonna be a play at the plate, and then you lock and say, "Okay, here we go," and you're waiting for something to happen. You're waiting for the throw to come. And God forbid, you hardly ever got a chance to see the throw. Whenever you be like, okay, here we go. And the throw scoots up the third base line, and then comes another run. You're like,
oh, you talking about Game 5 of the 2015 World Series? Mets. Anyway, no, but what's even more exciting was those plays where the runner is running from first to home, and it's going to be a close play because the ball went into the gap. Either left center, right center field, whatever, and it's that close. Like I look at Jose Reyes. It was exciting. If he hit the ball,
right,
hey, he could get it inside the park home run.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? What's that? What's inside the park home run? That's my point. That was exciting. Remember when I was just saying when Ricky Henderson, it's funny when the leading stealer of the year. He stole 30-something bases. I'm like, really? Ricky Henderson did that in a month. Like, really?
Yeah, they don't steal bases anymore. Really? Like Vince don't steal bases anymore. I'm like, why?
Oh, man, they used to be exciting. Remember Ricky Henderson and Vince Coleman? Oh, man.
Yeah, when they get on base.
You know what's trouble.
You know they were going.
You walked Ricky Henderson.
He's going to go.
If you walk Ricky Henderson, you're like, okay, this is a triple. Yeah. This is a triple. I loved him when he was on the Yankees. Oh, I loved him as a kid. And he had that snatch catch. Pause.
Yeah, snatch catch.
Yeah, that was dope. Like when I was a kid, I was like, yeah, I want to do the snatch catch. Yeah, that was dope. He made it look cool, to play in the outfield. Right. You know what I mean? Now it's like, God forbid you have personality in baseball. Well, we don't want you to do that. Put your head down the right way. Run the bases and don't point to the sky and don't be jovial in the dugout. So stupid.
What are you laughing at? What am I laughing at? I'm a millionaire. I'm playing a game and I have off in the winter.
I'm laughing all the way to the bank. They got it. I'm telling you, baseball. I'm telling you, kids, ladies and gentlemen, kids out there, if you got talent out there, you're athletic. Baseball is one of the ways to go. You get guaranteed money. NBA gets guaranteed money, but it's less stress on your body. Just don't work out too much. Don't be like these dummies that work out too much and I got an oblique. I strained my some muscle I never heard of in my life. From swinging a bat. It's like it's easy. If I was able, I'd be chilling.
I should. That's the one mistake.
I know
that I'll probably go to my grave regretting that I did not follow through in my baseball career. First of all, and I was really good. Like once I got to high school, for some reason, I just started chasing skirts. And on top of that, another thing that really cut into me playing baseball is that my high school was awful. My high school was awful. My high school was terrible in baseball. Hempstead High School was famous for basketball and football.
Not good for baseball.
But their baseball teams were terrible.
The baseball crew
really had no. Hempstead High School was mostly black. By that time, blacks were starting to. They were still in the league, but
it was starting to change. That's when it was starting to change.
It was starting to change, but they didn't like the inner city. I wasn't in the inner city. I was in the suburb. So
yeah,
you mostly would see that more in the inner city. There'd be more black kids playing baseball, but again, I always chalk that up to baseball being. And when people say, "Whoa, well, they do it in basketball," they never have a problem with basketball. You have to remember something. Baseball is something that most of the time you go to a game. You got a dad that takes you to the games. It's
Yep.
very rarely that you see baseball players grow up and they have one parent. It's a
That's another one.
sport. It's like a number one. You need like someone to throw you the ball.
Yeah.
So when you're growing up, you're gonna have that one person. As in basketball, you can just grab a basketball and just go.
Yeah,
You
you
can grab
just play
a
by yourself.
football, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, and go out. It's a little different, but with baseball, it's a generational game. Like your father takes you to the
Absolutely.
game,
Grandfather. Yeah.
father
Absolutely.
bought you your first mitt and stuff like that. So I think a lot of black kids grow up with one parent. A lot of times it's just the mother, and there's really nobody. I think there's like real as the increase in single parents increased. I think baseball started to decrease because it's not, it's rarely both parents, and
Hmm.
stuff like that. So
And then
I think
plus,
it has a lot to do with it.
yeah, and plus also going to the parks back in the day, there was a lot of kids in the parks. Say, hey, you want to play some ball? And everybody,
Right,
share some gloves, whatever.
right,
As long as you had a couple of bats, whatever, you were good. But nowadays, and that started not really just nowadays, but as years went by, it was harder. And with a basketball, like you said, you could just play a pickup game anyway. You can have 1-on-1, 2-on-2,
right.
3-on-3.
One,
Even with football, you can do that. You can have three. You don't have to have 11 guys each side to play
yeah, you
football.
can have somebody throwing you the ball. Hey, what's
Yeah.
up, New York Giants?
Hey,
What's
NYC
up,
Giants,
Jimmy?
what's
So
up?
yeah, you can grab someone else. Hey, let's throw, let's play each other. Like me when we were growing up, um, we used to make up games.
Yeah,
Like so, it could be me and somebody else, and we'll play. Uh, you're the quarterback. Let's play. So we used to make up a game called sideline. I'm gonna run a
okay.
pattern into the sideline. We'll see how many, where how many sideline cuts he can make when I stay in bounds and catch the ball, and
See, I would love that.
it would only be two people. You know what I mean? It would
I
only
would
be
love
two
that.
people.
I would love that. See,
And then we
I love
had
that stuff.
our baseball game was called Four White Lines, right?
Okay.
And of course, like I said, in the suburbs. So we would play in the street,
Ah,
and
there it is.
there was the four white lines were the bases. So like
Mm-hmm.
there was a white line like right here, and they were all set up, like baseball. So first base was at the stop sign. So there's a white line there before the
Yeah.
stop sign.
Uh-huh.
And then we would have to make one for second base because that would be straight ahead. So there's no stop signs there. Oh no, there
Yeah.
was a stop sign there too. At every stop sign, the white line. So we called it four
Oh,
white
that's
lines.
cool.
That was our baseball game. And
That's cool.
we I can remember getting up, and then I played with these two white dudes. Shout out to Chris Ziegler and his brother Robbie Ziegler, and two white boys, and we used to always play. And I'm gonna tell you something. I think about it now, and I'm like, if they've no way to be able to get away with that. But we had a guy named Patrick Decatrell, right? So Decatrell was like Cuban, I think.
What a name.
So, and we call him Dickie, right?
Gotcha.
So Rob, now this is our friend.
Okay.
Rob would come outside, right? Before he gets to the house. And this is how he would call Dickie. Dickie, you dumb N-word. Get out here. Let's play.
Oh.
And we didn't think nothing of it. Like, it was like,
Wow, some friend he is.
and then
Yeah.
Dickie would come outside and we just start playing like it's no problem. And we would play all day, every
Wow.
day.
Wow.
And the funny thing is, now Chris Ziegler, who's his brother,
Okay.
was my friend. He's like, guy's still my friend now, like 30 years later, right? And it was so weird that I think about it now and back then, because now he's like a Trump supporter. You know what I mean? So it's a little awkward us now, but we never stopped being friends. You see what I'm saying? Like for my birthday, he'll like send me something for like he still remembers. He'll send me something like with the Steelers or with the Mets. And then, so he's a Yankee fan and a Cowboy fan. So I would send him like some Yankee stuff. Thurman Munson's his favorite player ever. I remember when growing up and Thurman Munson died, he cried for 2 weeks.
I can imagine. He was a little too young for that
player. And Catfish Hunter was his favorite pitcher.
Jim Catfish Hunter, yes.
Yes, for the Yankees. And he just sent me for my birthday the Tom Seaver book because you know I love Tom Seaver.
Yeah,
Tom Seaver.
I bought that for my brother too. The latest.
And what he also sent me before that, and I'm telling you, it brought tears to my eyes. When we were growing up, we collect baseball cards, and we would
you'll charge.
So we would always flip and stuff like that, and he was the most organized dude. Like he would put his baseball cards in like these little glass cases or whatever.
Yeah.
And so
I had the plastic pages.
So for my birthday,
he
sends me this big box, right? And I look into the box, and it's like because he hated the Mets, and it's like all his Met baseball cards, and he's got them all nicely wrapped in glass, whatever.
Look at that!
For my birthday, so I have a box full, of Met cards.
You got like old school Mets.
Yeah, the 70s.
Nice. You got a Hubie Brooks card?
I'm sure I do. I'm sure I do.
You got Joel Youngblood?
Joel Youngblood, the garbage Mets.
Always loved that.
On the mound. And on the mound, Craig Swan. He had a record of 4-15, but he's been coming along.
You know, when I was a kid and I couldn't go to Yankee games yet because we were in the Bronx, I was too young. And that name, I used to love that name. I thought it was the coolest baseball name, Joe Youngblood.
Joe Youngblood. He is the, and we see Wes is here. Joe Youngblood is. Here's a little trivia for you, and now maybe it's been broken since then. Joe Youngblood is the only player to ever play for 2 teams on the same day. I don't think anyone else has done it.
I don't think so either.
He got traded. Same day. And then went at nighttime and played for the team he got traded for. I think he's the only guy who's ever did it.
If I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was the Mets to the Expos or the other way around, something like that.
Yeah, Mets and Expos.
Yeah.
Mets and Expos.
Yeah. Imagine? Can you imagine that nowadays?
He played for the Mets.
And the same day,
I think he may have either got traded in the middle of the game or he found out after the game. And then the Expos had a game at night. He flew from Shea Stadium to Montreal, and he came in the game. I think it pinch hit or something.
Yeah.
Sounds like
I thought it was
sounds like
Youngblood. It sounds like he belonged in a Cowboys flick.
Joe Youngblood.
Joe Youngblood.
That sounds like something. A former Met would be involved in.
There was Billy the Kid, and then there was Joe Youngblood.
Right. The fastest gun in the West, Joe Youngblood.
I'm your 70 Sam.
Yeah, no, that's a cool name. You're right. That's a cool name.
Yeah, Joe Youngblood. Yes, if I'm not mistaken, he was a third baseman. I think he was a third baseman, if I remember. I was like, oh, Joe Youngblood. It was the name just captivated me. Joe Youngblood.
That's a good name.
That's one of the coolest baseball names ever.
Yeah, I agree.
You know. Yeah. So with that being said, baseball needs a lot of help. And with all this crap going on, unless it's diehard fans like me, a lot of people ain't gonna watch because the sport is a regional game. It's not a national game like it once was 30, 35 years ago, 40 years ago.
Do you think do you guys think that? Because I obviously I wasn't able to catch all of the show, but I know based on your topics about what Ortiz said about it being boring. Do you think this is kind of a messed up question, but you think that the fact, because back when the ball was juiced, well, not juiced, but back when the bats were juiced or the players were juiced, the ball was flying out of there. people seem to be more important. I mean, more interested, to be honest with you. Like everybody tuned in to see Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire. You know, it was like, you know, ESPN would cut in on whatever they're doing.
Oh, yeah. That was a big deal.
Cut in to let you know who's and with Barry Bonds as well. Now, yes, of course, not to be, you know, of course, when you find out if someone, you know, they're using steroids, that taints it. But the bottom line is, people will watch it.
People will watch it.
Yeah.
People like, you know,
I believe that they never would have found out.
Yeah.
They never would have found out that steroids had something to do with it.
Yeah. I mean, real fans of the sport, you know, we'll watch a pitcher's duel and be happy. But for the cold hard truth is, people don't want to see pitchers duels. They want to see the ball fly out of the park.
Yeah. But see, this is what I was saying earlier, you know, when you weren't on, is that even back then, when they had the home run chase, there was doubles, there was triples, there was fundamentals in the game, where now, if you notice, in the last, I would say 7 years maybe or so, that's gone down the toilet, where these geniuses that come to the plate, they just, the days of, okay, I got a 2-0 count. Okay, this is a hitter's count. And there's a man.
There's no such thing anymore.
Yeah, they just, even if they have a hitter's count, or they don't have a hitter's count, okay, I'm gonna swing at the dirt, you know. Listen, Vladimir Guerrero is the only one that got away with that, okay? He could hit the ball off the dirt and still hit a 200-foot home run. But you're not Vladimir Guerrero. Okay.
Yeah, no.
They don't make those plays anymore.
I think that may have something. I might be wrong. You guys might know more than me, but I think that may have something to do with the way they're handling the pitching now too.
Yes.
You know what I mean? With the bringing in the pitches so early and starting relief pitchers and all types of moving around and stuff. I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me.
It's just and then these injuries they get, where as each year goes by, it gets more comical. I got ingrown toenail. I can't play, you know. Yeah. Oh, you know, I never, like I told Heaven, I never heard of oblique injury until like this last decade, you know. Like, what's an oblique? Like, you never heard that in football. You ever heard that in football, basketball? I injured my oblique. Like, what? Oblique?
Yeah, no, I think, because you know, like when you got the traditional way of the starting pitcher, he comes out there and he's pitching, you know, at least 7 innings. You know, even if they can't.
Now we have beginners, or what they call them, openers.
Don't get me. I think that's messing up the hitting. I mean, it's good. It's good for the other team to not give up so much. You know, but overall, I think it messes up the strategy of the hitting, because, like, usually a pitcher comes in, even if they can't figure him out for the first 5 innings, they may finally get to him the 6th inning, 7th inning, because they done figured him out and have seen him a few times. I think the fact of not seeing these people as much or enough to figure them out is hurting the hitting. That's just my opinion.
But then again, with technology nowadays, to me, that's no excuse. You could go in between at bats and look at your at bat and say, "Boy, what I did wrong there." Yeah. Oh, what can you could look at somebody online, you know, as your batting coach, whatever. Oh yeah, this is what he throws. Before it would just be from a book. Okay, yeah, this is what he throws at a certain point. So look out for that. Blah blah blah. You could do more than that now. If you do your homework, you know, there's no excuse to me. You know, especially if you're a big time player, you should have no excuse. You have everything available to the moon and back. Where, you know, it's like, come on, man. It's like, and I'm not saying everybody can have a bad day. I'm not saying you're gonna go 4 for 4 every time, but you know, come on, man. You strike out at the worst. It's just no fundamentals whatsoever. You know, you swing when you're not supposed to, take when you're not supposed. It's just I blame the coaches bringing them up from the minor leagues, how they teach these players. It goes even back before that, high school, minor leagues, you know, college, minor leagues, all that. That's all come to play, especially when these hitters, when they used to in high school and college, they use the aluminum bat. They come to the major leagues, they can't use aluminum. Imagine if they use the ball will go 700 feet. Seriously. It's crazy. It's just, but see, I still love my game. It's just not the same as it was, but I still love it because I'm one of the diehards. But they're in trouble. I'm telling you, and especially with a collective bargaining agreement about to expire next year, they better not mess it up because then they'll lose the fans forever. I'm telling you right now, if they gonna mess around, well, we don't want. If we're gonna get extended playoffs, we want this. You want the DH universal DH? We want it. Well, something's gonna have to change. You're gonna have to have universal DHs. You're gonna have to do stuff like that. If you want young bucks to get into your sport and you want future players to play in your sport, you have to change up. Sorry. Baseball's the only sport they just can't. They're just so hard-headed. So hard-headed.
Right.
They just adjust. Just adjust. Anyway, that's enough.
Speaking of baseball.
Speaking of baseball, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Interesting about this, because I saw this online somewhere about, what you call it, Bleacher Report did their Mount Rushmore, but they did a current Mount Rushmore of every team, as far as current players, not like all time. But I want to go even better than that. I want to go, what's your Mount Rushmore Mets in your lifetime that you saw in your lifetime? Like, you know what? These are the 4 I'm putting up. Like, if I was starting a franchise, these are the guys I go to. You know what I'm saying? For me as a Yankee fan, I'm not gonna go all time because that'd be too easy. As far as like, well, Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, Joe DiMaggio, and I'm not doing that. I'm gonna do who I saw with my own eyes, live and in living color. Because to me, I could say, Babe Ruth, Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm who I saw that was on my team that did good for my team.
Yeah. So for me, with the Mets, based on the people that I saw or remember seeing, definitely Doc Gooden.
That's a good one.
Is on there.
Okay.
For me, I think for me it's probably gonna be Gooden. It's probably gonna be Strawberry.
That's a real good one.
It's probably gonna be Piazza.
That's a good one. Pizza.
Pizza Man. He became one of my favorite Mets, like, ever.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if I can, I guess, wow. See, I wanted to say Wright, but Wright was like, I don't want to use the word. He wasn't a disappointment, but he was disappointment to the point of he couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's what made him disappointment for me. But I'm gonna go with this is he was just a favorite of mine. John Franco. Franco was one.
John Frankie.
Well, actually, I'll go with I might pull Franco off and put in
who? Okay.
What was his name?
What position?
See, he was a pitcher. Valenzuela?
No, Valenzuela was a Dodger.
No, he was a Dodger. No, what was his name then? I'm trying to remember his name.
What time frame are we talking about?
80s.
Who? Sid Fernandez? No.
Sid Fernandez.
Sid Fernandez, Bobby Ojeda.
I'll probably go with Franco. He was one of my favorites.
John Franco.
John was my favorite, man. He was one of my favorites. I don't know why. He just was. He didn't throw. He threw slow as molasses. But
I still remember him in that 2000 playoffs. He struck out Barry Bonds.
Yeah, he sure did. He sure did. I did like Red Donis, but I mean, I wouldn't put him in there.
Yeah.
That's just my favorite. But for me, it's Piazza. It's Piazza. Strawberry, Gooden, and these are all the people that I saw.
Was that the?
It's Mount Rushmore, but he said based on people that you've seen in your lifetime, not all time Mets. Like I never saw Seaver pitch for the Mets. You know what I'm saying, or anything like that.
Obviously, he would be on there. Yeah.
Right. So because I didn't see him, I'm not putting him there.
Yeah, he's
But
I agree with that. But he's my favorite, man.
Right.
He's my favorite pitcher, even though I didn't. The reason why he is because he didn't. Tom Seaver didn't want to be traded. Like,
no, he didn't.
He was going to stick it out with the Mets, good, bad, or ugly, and then most of the time it was ugly, and he was there.
Good old man.
He did win the championship in 69. 69. And
he was there 73.
Lost in 71.
73 to the Oakland A's.
Oakland A's.
Yep. That dominant Oakland A's dynasty.
Tom Seaver. I remember the first big three: Seaver, Koosman, and Matlack. And those were the first big three with the pitchers.
You know what's funny?
Koosman,
you know what's funny? Yeah, Tom's terrific. Didn't want me to interrupt, but I remember because I got Met fans in my family. Hey, you can't pick your family. but I remember hearing from my uncles and my certain people that actually when it came to the playoffs, Jerry Koosman was better in the playoffs than even Tom Seaver.
He was.
Yeah,
Jerry Koosman was money in the playoffs.
And he was great.
He wasn't better in the regular season, but
no.
And he wasn't marginally better, but
no,
Koosman was money.
Yeah, he was the Eli of the Peyton family, where when Tom Seaver was Peyton Manning.
Remember when they made? He started over the starters, and they made Rick Aguilera like this big closer. Remember Rick Aguilera?
I remember. Oh yeah, you remember when he gave up
Minnesota? He had the beard.
Yeah, I remember the famous Game 6, one of the greatest postseason games I've ever seen in my life. He gave the home run to the late Dave Henderson.
Yeah,
and I remember when he hit that home run because I was one of those rare Yankee fans. I wasn't those Yankee fans. I was like, oh, I hope Boston win. I hated Boston. Hated Boston.
Right.
That was the first year I hated. I said I didn't want them to win, even if the Mets had to stop him.
When he hit it, I remember him hitting it, and I can remember him going after he hit it because he knew he hit a home run. You heard him clapping his hands. I was like, this bastard.
Hey, remember he did the back step,
and he said, "You can." I still remember that thing. You can hear him clapping his hands after he hit it because he knew he'd hit a home run.
Yeah, but you know what was funny? Not funny, haha, but ironic. Just before he hit that home run, of course, the biggest jinx, if you're a sports fan, they always do this. Here's the replay of the ALCS game when Dave Henderson hit the home run against the Angels. And I'm like, and the next pitch,
does it to the Mets.
The next pitch, Ricky Aguilera, a moonshot, left field, right in the Red Sox bullpen. And you see stupid Roger Clemens, oh, now I can shave. So when I get on camera, that's what he did too. He went, thought he was gonna get on camera. Yeah, we won the World Series, and then
lost again.
And then
to me, that and like I said,
I love it.
Those game sixes, man. Those game sixes are always better than game sevens.
Very rare.
That was game 6.
Only 2001 World Series.
The Rangers and the Cardinals. When that happened, that was game 6. Yeah, and then when stuff like that happens, the Kirby Puckett home run, that was game 6.
And we'll see you tomorrow night.
That was game 6. All of the heroic happened in game 6s in all sports. Like the Ray Allen 3 that saved LeBron's tail. That was game 6.
I'm trying to be happy. Don't bring that up. Stupid what's his face? Oh, let me not have what's his face in the game. Yeah, let me take out my best player to get out.
Yeah, he's got 17 rebounds. So what?
Yeah, he got this game. Stupid. Poor Bosh never gets the credit for that too, because Bosh was the one that got the rebound and passed it to Ray Allen.
Yep. Sure
poor
did.
And the only reason he did because Tim Duncan was in the game.
So we have a Mount Rushmore topic here. I see you saying the Mount Rushmore players.
Yeah. Well, so what is yours, Heaven? What's your favorite Mets that you saw in your lifetime? And like, if you were gonna do your Mount Rushmore of Mets, who would yours be?
Piazza, Seaver. This is easy. Piazza, Seaver, Gooden, Strawberry.
Seaver, Gooden. Yeah, so the only difference between you
it's
and
almost mine, because I don't remember, I didn't see Seaver. I don't remember seeing him, so that was the only difference from mine.
Who did you say, Johnny Franco?
I said Franco, even though he threw slow, but I liked Franco, man. I liked Franco. He was, Franco. I didn't hold my breath when Franco came in all the time, like how I was with some of our other closers.
Yeah,
we can go on and on with that one.
Closers. Oh my God, Benitez.
Benitez. I got angry when Benitez came in because I just didn't like seeing him, and I was like, nah, he's gonna lose. We're gonna lose. If it was close, I'm like, we're losing.
Yeah, my brother agrees with your thoughts. I can hear his thoughts from here.
I'm gonna tell you one thing. The most I was pretty, he gave up big home runs and spots, but I was pretty solid with Wagner. When he came to Mets, he was pretty good. But I go back further. And this
let me ask you though, how about this? And I'm surprised this name don't come up because I think he deserves to be on this list. Carlos Beltran.
Oh, that's my guy.
I think he gets a bad rap.
He does.
He does because he deserves it. No, I'm joking.
He got caught watching that damn curveball.
That's all people. This New York, baby. We only remember the bad shit.
Nah, but he was very good for the Mets.
I can't put him ahead. You know what?
He might not be an all-time great, but he was definitely up there.
I can't put him ahead. He's up there. He's up there. He's definitely in my top 10. But if I was to take one of those guys out, I would probably put Mookie.
I was about to say that
Mookie Wilson. I was surprised you brought that on your list, Evan.
I was thinking about putting Mookie Wilson because I did put see
Gary
Mookie
Carter
Wilson
ahead of him.
The late great Gary Carter. Yep, that's a good one. That's another good one too. That's a good one.
Carter was all hard
and
too.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought that we got him a little late, so Pedro doesn't really have moments for me. Like Johan Santana has more moments for me than Pedro. Pedro didn't give us many moments.
No.
I can't remember, when he pitched. I can't remember all his moments were from Boston. I can't remember one big moment.
Yeah.
Because he was shot by the time we got him.
Yeah. And not only that, you know why? Because by the time the playoffs started in 2006, he got hurt. And same thing with El Duque. You didn't get the El Duque of the Yankees. You get El Stinke.
We got El Duque. And you guys got the moments from El Duque.
El Duque. But we got him in his prime.
Those four. Piazza's my all-time favorite ever because, like I said, he made the Mets relevant.
Yeah.
He made the Mets relevant. Without Piazza during that whole entire time, and the thing about him was he was he always, I would say 9 times out of 10, always lived up to the moment.
Yep, he did.
Always lived up to the moment. He was clutch as they come. And I guess I get choked up when I think about it. The 9-11 home run, it don't get no bigger than that.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you.
He had the whole country on his back.
The whole country was watching. The whole country was watching. And that was the game they were wearing the hats from like the fire department and stuff like that.
And they're losing.
Yep.
And I'm gonna tell you one thing, and a lot of Met fans kill me for this, but I'm telling you something. If you go back and watch that at bat, I truly believe because of the moment and because they were losing, I truly believe that pitcher gave him a
hittable pitch,
a groove. I still believe he grooved it. I still believe he grooved it because the You have to look at that at bat. His reaction when Piazza hit it, it was like he's not upset because number one, the Mets were not were the Mets in first? No, two.
Actually, the Mets were making a surge in the.
They're making a surge.
They were making a late surge. It was just too late.
It was. There was a pitch earlier that he actually should have struck out, and I think they let him go.
Too bad we can't watch it right now.
I know, because every time I try to turn on it, Wes could probably find. Maybe Wes could do it, but
we'll get thrown off the air.
And then I believe it was McMichael. I think was the pitcher. If it wasn't McMichael, it was a guy.
Let me look. Hold on.
Casey or.
Let me see. Hold on.
Get the Mike Piazza back.
Yeah. Hold on.
And it was either guy. It was either guy starts with a K, last name starts with a K, or it was McMichael.
Could have been.
But I truly believe he wanted Piazza to hit it out, and it choked up. And he took the moment. He felt as though the moment for the country and for baseball was much more important at that time than striking Piazza out. I swear I will go to my grave believing this. He'll probably never admit that he did it, but there's no way on a 3-2 with the bases loaded or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
You're not giving. I mean, he put it right down the middle with no velocity.
By the way, the pitcher's name was Steve Carsey. He was a local.
As I said, Casey Carsey.
Christ the King, former Christ the King alumni, and also a former Yankee too. Later on, he became Yankee. Yep, he pitched for the pitcher.
Hold it back.
I'm gonna wait to play it at the end of the show just in case they flag us for it. We'll play it. We'll go out with it. We'll go out with it because I don't want them to flag us for it. So,
is this the at bat or just the pitch?
I think this is the at bat. I think this is the full at bat.
I want to see hold it back.
By the way, that you remember who made the call, right? On that home run, right?
Hold on. I just saw it the other day. Hold on.
He's a legend, especially in Metland.
Bob Murphy was still. Oh no, Gary Cohen.
No, Bob Murphy. He was still alive.
Bob Murphy made that call.
Yeah, he made the call. Home run, might be on
the radio. On the radio or on
the radio.
That was on the radio. TV was Cohen, I think.
Yeah, I think it was Cohen. I think.
Yeah, it was. And this is not the at bat. It's just the actual hit.
The pitch, the hit.
It's just the pitch that he hit it. Yeah, the pitch.
Okay. Yeah,
I can't find the whole at bat, but
I'll tell you, man.
Quick story.
And the people, the way they were, they were just praying for a Met victory, and it was just after he hit it, it was like, okay, now everything is okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I still remember that at bat against Rivera. I think it was the last game in the Subway Series.
Right. Look at these spots. Look at the spots this dude comes up in and delivers. He can't. He has to be a bigger Met fan.
But he's definitely
Rivera. Let this sink in.
Yeah.
Rivera.
But listen, when he hit that ball, I thought it was gone. I really thought it was gone.
When he faced Rivera in the World Series.
Yeah, the World Series. I'm not talking about other times when it's happened.
Game 6.
I thought
he got it a little bit off the end of his bat, man.
Yeah, but don't tell me when you first.
Yeah.
I thought it was gone. Like at first, I was like, "Oh crap!"
I remember that. I cried after that because I was in the series.
I cried in delight.
I said, "Oh man." Because if we could have won that game, we probably would have lost Game 7 anyway. But at least it would have been exciting to bring it back for Game 7.
By the way, my Rushmore real quick who I think deserve to be on here as Yankees in my lifetime. I had to really think about this, but in no particular order, but you can put it anywhere you want. Definitely Mariano Rivera.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely Derek Jeter.
I agree.
Definitely A-Rod. I don't care what anybody tells me.
Nah. I don't know if I'd put A-Rod, but I ain't a fan.
Only because of what he did. Now all that other tool stuff he did off the field, that's a different story.
I'm not really happy with that. Man. No way, Jimmy Ace, and I'm not even a Yankee fan.
And definitely Don Mattingly definitely deserves to be on my list.
Don Mattingly, yeah.
If I was a Yankee fan, which I am,
I wasn't happy with A-Rod a lot,
which I am not. So I don't remember Ruth and Mantle and DiMaggio. Of course, they be on. All of them guys will be on there. So I don't remember them.
Of course.
I don't remember them. So if I'm a Yankee fan, it's Jeter and Mariano, of course.
That's automatic.
I'm putting Mattingly because he's kind of like how Seaver was to the Mets.
That's a good comparison.
And
I might put Bernie Williams.
I did think of Bernie. I did think of Bernie.
Bernie hit a lot of clutch hits for y'all.
Yeah,
Bernie got a lot of clutch hits.
What about the guy that used to bring excitement to the park every night when they weren't really that good? How about Louisiana Lightning, Ron Guidry?
That's actually a better pick. I love Guidry. That's still my favorite Yankee pitcher of all time. Ron Guidry.
I mean, when he was in there,
a good argument.
When he was in there, that was like, that was like must-be TV.
And I seen him pitch.
When Guidry was there. That's
a better one. I give you that. That's a good choice. I do admit.
I think A-Rod was, to me, A-Rod really, I mean, don't get me wrong, A-Rod was a great, phenomenal player. Yeah, but I think, honestly, A-Rod coming to the Yankees took a little bit away from him as the superstar that he was, because he had
always
to come
in.
He was that, just like in basketball, he's that superstar that's got to come in and be like, you know what? Yes, you're gonna still be who you are, but this is the house that at this point it's the house of Jeter built. It's Jeter's house. You know what I'm saying? And you're just a guest. You're a long-term guest. That's what you are.
I mean, he did had two great MVP years, and he did stupid stuff off the field. But if you take away, but he only had two great postseasons. The first part of 2004 before the collapse, and 2009. 2009, he was definitely a major reason why we won.
I can't put him there, not with people like Reggie Jackson. Oh, Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson, man. That's definite. That's what. If I'm a Yankee fan, Reggie Jackson, because of the
I did see him play
home runs. Like back then, that never happened.
Mm-hmm.
The 3 home runs in the World Series.
I could definitely replace Reggie Jackson with A-Rod. Mr. October, by the way, which A-Rod wasn't, except for 1 year.
Right. Mm-hmm. So that's who I would put. What about your Mount Rushmore of New York Giants? That's your team, right?
Oh, you're talking about football?
Yeah.
Oh, that's easy. Definitely LT, the real LT, Lawrence Taylor. I would say, off the top of my head, Lawrence Taylor. Let me think about this. I don't care what anyone says.
I love Super Bowls, Eli. Bill Sims.
See, even though Eli was even though Eli was more talented, I still like Sims better.
Phil Sims had guts. He had heart.
Yep. Not that Eli didn't. I'm just saying that when it came to being the field general, I think Phil Sims was better. He didn't have Eli's arm, but then again, he didn't throw as many interceptions like Eli did.
Right.
So I would say Phil Sims, Lawrence Taylor. I love Mark Bavaro. as a tight end. Who can ever forget that Monday night game against the 49ers when he dragged like Ronnie Lott and a couple of 49ers on his back an extra 10, 15 yards?
Right.
I love Rambo is what Bill Parcells used to call him because he just had that stone face, Mark Bavaro. And if I had to pick 4, okay, I got to think of this one. Who would be I think of who would be 4. That is a good one. If I'm not and all these Eli apologies.
Larson,
all right, you know what? I like Harry
Strahan.
Yeah, okay, I'll put Strahan, even though I like Harry Carter, but Strahan is they're both Hall of Famers. But
gotta put Strahan.
Strahan.
He gave that
identity.
He gave that team identity, exactly. He gave that team their identity.
Okay, I'll go with Strahan. There you go. There goes my 4 right there. What's your 4 Vikings, Wes?
Well, I did not see Tarkenton, so I'm not putting him.
Yeah, former Giant too, by the way.
Yeah. Obviously Moss, and Moss.
And more
Moss, of course, Moss. Carter.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna say Peterson. I gotta put Peterson there.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one, I'm gonna say John Randall.
Ooh, that's a good 4.
John Randall, yeah.
John Randall was
he also gave that particular team that defense and identity. He was he was relentless. You know what I mean? And
with the warrior paint on his eyes.
Yeah. And then my secondary guy from him it was just a personal favorite. Was Robert Smith. I like Robert Smith.
Honorary shout out to West. Yes.
Robert Smith was the Marshall Faulk before Marshall Faulk.
Yeah.
How about your Steelers there?
All of my Steelers are 70s and 80s Steelers.
There you go.
It's Bradshaw, it's Franco, Jack Lambert, and probably I'll probably put Palomalu there. So I'm probably gonna say Palomalu, Bradshaw, Franco
Harris,
and Palomalu. But it's very close that I didn't pick Mean Joe Green.
I was going to ask you about that. I was going to bring that up.
Swan, John Stallworth.
A lot of great Steelers, man.
Ben. I mean, like Ben.
Hines Ward.
like Ben. Ben statistics, he's better than Bradshaw. But Bradshaw just got the Super Bowl victories. Bradshaw was actually, if you take out the Super Bowls, he was actually pretty mediocre.
True.
His statistics are nowhere near Ben's.
True.
So Bradshaw made it to the Hall of Fame based on those Super Bowls that he was. He won. What did Bradshaw? 5 Super Bowls?
4. 4 for 4.
4 for 4. And I think he's got 2 Super Bowl MVPs, I believe.
Yeah, I don't remember how many Super Bowl MVPs.
Because I remember I think Stallworth won 1 year. So Bradshaw might have 3.
I know this question is going to be easy, especially for probably both of you, especially for you, Heaven, because they didn't have many of them. But now we picked our Mount Rushmore. So who is leading? Which coach is leading them?
Ooh.
For me, it's Denny Green.
Good old Dennis Green.
Chuck Noll for me.
Well, the 2 off the top of my head is still. I can't think of other 2. You know what's funny? Because the Giants are the only organization. They had some Hall of Fame coaches that turned into Hall of Fame head coaches, but not a lot of Hall of Fame head coaches themselves. But 2 off the top of my head, obviously, Bill Parcells and Tom Coughlin. Absolutely.
Coughlin.
But
Parcells,
you pick another 2.
Who was in between that, like Ray Perkins?
No, I just meant you picked 1. I didn't mean 4. I just mean you got your 4. Now, who
one?
leads them? Who would you pick the
Take a
one coach
Parcells.
that you're going with?
Oh, Parcells, definitely number one. Parcells,
Ah,
definitely.
that's cool.
Yeah, I'm taking Chuck Noll.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer for heaven. Absolutely, Jake.
Yeah. And he didn't have that many coaches anyway. What y'all have? 4 coaches?
Three head coaches.
Yeah, that's the funny thing with Pittsburgh. I mean, the coaches stay forever. I mean,
Yeah,
they literally
coaches
die
until
out here.
20 years, man.
losing seasons and all.
Yeah,
My Lakers, real quick, as we're going to my Lakers is probably Kobe, Shaq, Magic, Kareem. There you go.
Okay, let's see. Well, my Knicks, definitely Patrick Ewing. I love Latrell. I just love Latrell Sprewell when the energy. I just love Latrell. I love John Starks. And I love Derek Harper. I love Derek Harper.
Yeah, I never really had a basketball team. I kind of rooted for the Lakers, and that was it. Yeah, I didn't really have at one point, I used to like Charlotte, but I didn't really have a
Grandmama.
Yeah, Grandmama and Alonzo Mourning.
Larry Johnson, Charlotte. Okay.
Yeah, Larry Johnson and Mourning. That was good. Glenn Rice was on there. I liked when Glenn Rice was on there.
Glenn Rice, yeah, he was great.
Yeah,
he was already washed up by then.
Del Curry was exciting to see because he's always shooting threes. And who didn't love little Muggsy?
Yeah, Muggsy Bogues. Absolutely. Who didn't like him? Of course.
He was a 5'2" of heart, whatever he was, 5'5", whatever he was. All heart.
Yeah. Was he shorter than Spud Webb, or was Spud Webb shorter than him?
No, he was shorter than Spud Webb.
Wow. And didn't Spud Webb win the dunk contest one year?
Spud Webb dunk. Yeah, he was a dunker.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's amazing. That's amazing.
And really quickly before we end on the stuff category, I was going to do the Megan Thee Stallion thing, but I don't want to do the Megan Thee Stallion thing. I think what the more important trending thing that everyone's talking about is this Meek Mill, and 6ix9ine. Now, I'm always trolling on talking about 6ix9ine, but I'm going to keep it a buck. This dude keeps on. As much as we say he's a rat, he's a this, he's a punk. Let me tell you what this dude has now done. He went and stood in the middle of O Block, which is supposedly the roughest, toughest neighborhood in Chicago. I don't care what time he was there. That's not my problem. If you're there and he was there 5 in the morning, you're a thug. Thugs don't go to bed. Criminals don't go to sleep. 5 a.m. is not the curfew for criminals. He was there at 5 a.m. You should have saw him. He stood on O Block and filmed. He shot at Chief Keef, who's from Chicago. Went to O Block and then handed out stuff to poor people. This guy made fun of Nipsey Hussle. And then went to LA and took a picture by Nipsey Hussle's store. He's still walking around. Last night, a couple of nights ago, he runs into Meek Mill, who Meek Mill has been talking all this stuff about 6ix9ine when he see him. Is this guy jumps out of the car, calling Meek Mill the N-word, you P, you nigga. You with the pot? Yeah, you got the police. You got look at you. You don't try about me. You got the police. You 6ix9ine yelling at Meek Mill. And what is Meek gonna say? Oh, what y'all trying to do? Get me? What y'all bring him over here for? What y'all trying to do? Get me in trouble? Y'all trying to get me locked back up? That's what y'all trying to do? Y'all trying to get me in trouble? I said, are you serious? If you're scared of jail, then stop talking that gangster stuff.
Correct.
If you're worried about the police, because you sure enough ran down on Safari with no problem. Ran down on Safari, who everybody know don't want no smoke. You ran down on Safari with no problem. You doesn't care about the cops when you ran down on Safari. You'll run down on academics, checking academics. I'm sorry. I think these guys, everybody's gonna get mad at me. I think these guys may be a little scared of 6ix9ine. I don't know whether it's the crazy makeup. He looks a little bit like the Chucky doll. We don't know Chucky crazy. Maybe it's the fact that the guy, is loud, runs his mouth. He's got all the crazy stuff. I think they're a little afraid of 6ix9ine. Why else would they not put this guy's face in the dirt by now?
It has to be a reason. There gotta be some connections or something.
And then everyone's supposed to come and say, "Oh heaven, he's rolling with police. Why should Meek risk getting himself in trouble?" but then stop talking that gangster stuff and more about your business. Leave the dude alone.
Mm-hmm.
Don't talk about him no more.
Exactly.
And keep it moving.
Yeah. Don't say you're a gangster when you're not.
Gangsters don't worry about
my only question to that is, because I know we gotta go, but my only question to that part is, so I'm not up on it too much, but I jumped on and saw people thinking that it was set up. People thinking that it was staged. Do you think it was staged?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Even if it was staged, to me that makes Meek look even worse.
True.
Because what are you going? People were saying, "Oh, they think that Meek's people and his people got together to say this so he can get a check." That makes Meek look even worse.
Yeah, it does. I agree with that.
Even worse. Why are you getting with this dude to get a bag?
Right.
Because I know people brought up, if you notice, Meek didn't have where was Meek's jewelry? Meek didn't have no jewelry on. Where was 6ix9ine's jewelry? I mean, so they're saying that. Okay, if it was staged, to me, that makes Meek Mill look even worse.
And I mean, if it was staged, why wouldn't he act up then? If he knew it was staged,
right?
Why wouldn't he at least try to act like he wanted to get at him?
That looks bad too.
Yeah, I don't know. I just saw people say it. I think everybody just, in this day and age, everybody thinks everything is staged. Everybody thinks everything's theatrics. And some of the stuff is. But I mean, I don't particularly think it was staged. I don't know. I think it was true. I think Meek the internet makes everybody tough guys. And the bottom line is Meek had a come to Jesus moment when he knew that if I do retaliate with this guy, I may go back to jail. And one thing you could tell from all the records he's made, from the changes he's made in his life, he is not trying to go back to jail. But like you said, then you might as well not talk the tough talk, because when someone decides to check you on it, they want to pull up. Now you forced to do one of the other things, So yeah, I think he just should have.
What did I do to you, 6ix9ine? Why me? What y'all bothering me for?
Why pull me?
Like Tyrese. What do you want from me? Why are you pulling up on me?
Meek definitely ain't trying to go back to prison. That's for sure. He ain't trying to go back to jail. So yeah, and that part of it, honestly, I agree with. But I also agree with just keep your mouth shut then, because if you ain't trying to go back to jail, and that's what would happen if you have to, defend yourself if someone pull up on you because you talk about them.
Stop talking about it.
I think 6ix9ine knew that too, though. I think he kind of knew Meek Mill is in a place right now where he ain't gonna retaliate. Let's see him pull up on my son or somebody like that. That won't happen. He won't pull up on my son.
Well, I'll tell you guys the truth. I'm not so sure, because my son is taking the route of, because what's his name came and check. You know what he's doing. Whack 100. Then open up his mouth. You know what Whack about. Whack's the one. Last time we seen him, he was fighting the two Trump supporters in the street.
Yeah.
He said, basically, Meek, I'm sorry, you got to hold this L, because, he said, if you a gangster and I see you and you talking that, I'm sorry, it's whatever. And whatever happened. You got to have to take whatever come with it. He said, that's what you sign up for when you talking that gangster ass. Mm-hmm. You can't be talking that gangster stuff and then talk about some, if you pay the police, get on out the way. You know what I mean? Stop talking about you a gangster, because gangsters ain't afraid of the police.
No.
You know what I mean? He said, so stop talking. He said, because you sitting here, you already got the bad rap for giving them kids $20. You got the bad rap before that by getting beat by a singing dude. You got taken out by a singing dude. He still ain't really recovered from that.
Oh, boy.
Then he's gonna give the kids $20. Mm-hmm. And I don't care how much him and Drake is cool now. You're never gonna recover for that.
Yeah, but I know that's good. That's a good sounding joke. But Drake is more than just a singing dude. Drake got bars.
Drake got bars. Because Drake called himself that. That's it.
Well, yeah, no, it's true. I mean, he is a singing dude, but he do got bars. But that's besides the point.
Yeah,
we're gonna get ready to get up out of here. That's all I really got to say about that. I'll say Megan Thee Stallion and her self-destruction.
Self-destruction. She's saying for self-destruction.
She's imploding in front of our eyes. And
all my hotties out there, tell my boo that please tell me to get over here.
I'm not gonna be mad at me. Like, what?
Well, you 7?
Go to my boo's page and tell him don't be mad at me. What?
Are you 7 years old?
Yeah, people are crazy. Yeah, how old are you? Like 12? No, 15?
Imagine Nicki Minaj saying, hey, y'all go to my husband's page and tell him don't be mad. You never hear something.
And condolences to Nicki Minaj, by the way. The loss of her father.
Terrible.
You know, condolences to her. Yeah. Well, you guys, if y'all ended it, that's cool. I'm gonna end it with the after Jimmy says his outro. I'm gonna play the at bat that we talked about, just in case they flag us.
The home run, the setup home run that saved New York.
The setup home run by Steve Carsey. I don't know about that, but yes, thank you, my one, the great Heaven Hollywood is my co-host, and my great producer, of course, Wes Clark. Thank you all for watching and listening. Of course, tune in every Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Wes Clark and his Jedi Council when they do Real Talk. Yes, that'll be. Check that out. And if you miss it, hey, it's on this channel on IE Network. You can check it out anytime.
Right.
It's nothing wrong with watch a replay of it time and time again.
Right.
I mean, we love you watching live, but you can replay it every time.
I don't want to. I hate to interrupt you, but I don't know if you guys mentioned it. Go forward, you guys go get your merchandise. We got merchandise up.
Oh yeah,
at the IE. It's www. I'll put it in the chat room. The IE Networks.store.
I gotta see.
So it's www.theinetwork.store. There you go. We'll have merchandise, and it's just right now. It's a little bit. We'll have more coming up there. Merchandise from every show. If you want to support the show and get a T-shirt, get a whatever. We got T-shirts, we got masks, hats are coming. We got mugs, stuff like that. So just wanted to throw that out there. Go check out the merch store. Buy something. I don't care anything, just to show support to the shows. We'll get some Benchwarmer stuff up there too.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you, Wes. Thank you, Wes, for that PA announcement, which was very importante, which means very important. So thank you all for listening and watching to the Benchwarmers podcast, sports and stuff. Thanks once again to Heaven and Wes for doing what they do best. And thank you all for watching and listening. As I go into the internet of YouTube Radio Horizon here, actually the IE Network Horizon, here on YouTube, I say this to you all. Ladies and tomatoes, let's go Yankees. Here's the at bat.
Total.
Is there sound? Can you hear the sound?
No, I don't hear the sound. I was.
You got to click the little box that says share.
Piazza, he hit a home run.
We're gonna do it again. We're gonna do it again.
Piazza, boy, what a groove by Carsey.
Well, okay, you know what? We should do if it does it again. Let's do the color. Let's play. Here's the 1-2.
And it's hit to left center. Andrew Jones
That's
on
Owen.
the left. This one has a chance. Home run by Piazza, and the Mets lead 3-2.
Not his best. I don't even think that's Cohen. That's the other guy.
Yeah, I don't think it's Cohen in. My brother would know. Piazza with one of the greatest home runs you ever seen.
Boy, that's my guy, boy. That is my guy.
Yeah, great moment on seriously.
He had 2 curtain calls after that.
Take a look at this. He's got as much power as anybody. He got the arms extended.
Jeez.
A long home run. And a curtain call.
There you go.
Yeah, the back of that bat. Oh my God.
There you go.
I think
All
that
right,
I remember playing the Yankees. We were like, we never beat the Yankees, and they came back against Rivera. He had a homer off of Rivera. Like this dude, man.
on the World Series.
Yep, and then Clemens, big
Actually,
home run.
he did hit over in the World Series.
Roy and Clemens. He hit one bomb up of him to left field. I was like, Jesus Christ.
I still remember that home run.
Left the entire stadium.
It was. I remember one. It was one of those Saturday afternoon, Fox games. Might have been in '98. It might have been in '98. It might have been the year 2000. And the ball. Okay, if you remember O'Shea Stadium, they had that picnic area with the tents.
Yep.
Right. Piazza's ball, and I kid you not, hit like one of those tents in the outfield.
And
that's not no cheapy home run. That's no cheapy home run. That wasn't just over the wall, That went way over into over the parking lot, Jeez.
Yeah.
But
all right, man, good show, buddy. I will check you guys. I'll see everybody who came through on Monday.
That's right. You listen to the man. Oh, wrong way. Right here, this way.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Wes. Thanks a lot, Heaven. Good night, everybody. There's the tomatoes. Peace.